Good day viewers, welcome back to the Raw Stitches. Today I'll be teaching on the cutting and the sewing of this beautiful palazzo pant with gathers. I hope you enjoy it. I thank all my subscribers. I welcome new subscribers. Please don't forget to like, to subscribe. Happy viewing. Thank you all. I love you. Jesus love you more. To start with, I have laid my cloth. You can see it. It's folded into 4. 1, 2, then 3, 4. So after laying it this way, the next thing is that I'll be measured. I use my waist multiplied by 3 to measure. The waist I'm working with is 30 inches. 30 inches multiplied by 3 gives me 90 inches. Then I now divide by 4. And divided by 4, I have 22.5 inches plus 1 inch seam allowance. So I'll be having 23.5 inches. I will be using half inch for each side, which is 1 inch. So here I'm having 23.5 inches. 23.5. I hope you can see it. So after that, the length I'm working with is 39. It's going to have a band. So, but I'm going to take 40 because of the seam allowance and the hem. So I'll be taking 40. I'm going to use 1 inch seam allowance for the top. Then 1.5 seam allowance for the top, then half inch. So my seam allowance is 2 inches. So I'll be having 38 for the palazzo pant after sewing. And I'm going to add 2 inch band. So the next thing now, after laying it this way, this will be the front and this will be the back. I'm cutting together. For the crotch depth, I'll be making use of 10 inches. The 2 inch, the hip I'm working with is 40, but because it's a palazzo pant, I have to provide some ease. So I'm not going to go with the hip divided by 4, which is usually used for trouser. I'm going to add 2 inch ease at the crotch. So the 2 inches ease that I'm going to add at the crotch will be we go to the band. So for the palazzo, I'm cutting 10 inches depth. If you don't understand anything I'm saying, you're free to just rewind the video and watch it again. Then the crotch length here. For the crotch, I'll be taking the normal 2.5. I'll be taking 2.5 here and 2.5 here. So I'll have my ruler. Then using 1 inch, I will draw my curve. There's not much to hit. The reason is like this is that by the time I finish sewing, you can see from the video that it looks like a skirt. Actually, no one will notice easily that it's a pant. So after this, the next thing now is just to cut down. Very simple. I'll finish my cutting So after cutting, you can see this is one front and back. Then I have the other front and back. So the next thing now is I'm going to open it up this way. And I will take this to the machine. I will sew it down like this. And the other side, I will sew it down like this. For the band, I'm going to cut out 40 inches for the length. The 40 inches, I will add 1 inch seam allowance. So 40 on fold, I will have 20 inches plus half-inch seam allowance. That will be 20.5 inches. So for the band, I'm cutting 40 inches for the length. Is going to have an elastic band. So I'm using an elastic band. I'm not using any zip. So here we have, I folded 20.5 inches. Half of 40 is 20 plus half each seam allowance. So I have 20.5 inches. The width I'm working with is 2 inches. That will be 4 inches, 2 inches in unfold. So that will be 4 inches width. So I'll be having 4 inches for the width. So this will be my band. I'm using 2.5 yards to cut out and sew. I will sew it down. After sewing down, I will now take it to the pressing table and iron. So after sewing this way and this way, this is what I have. I will now open it up like so. So after opening it up, then the crush, I will join this to this and sew down with half an inch. I will just use pin to hold this crush because the cloth is a little bit stretchy. That's why I'm using pin to hold it. So from this side, I will sew down from here to the crush. Then from the crush down to the second hem. Down to the second hem. So after sewing that, I will tape the hem with 1 inch. I'll be folding in 1.5 inches. So then I will take in, after folding in 1.5 inches like this, I will now take in half inches and I will sew round. Then after sewing round, this is what I have. I've sewn it round, I've sewn the crotch round, and I've also sewn the hem round. So the next thing now, I run a loose stitch. I'm not going to pleat it, I'm going to be pulling gathers. So I've run a loose stitch around from one joining or one cross line to the other cross line, and I also do the same thing on the other side. If you like, you can pleat your own, but I don't want to pleat. I am running loose stitch. Then the next thing now is I'm going to pull my gathers, but before I pull my gather, I will take the front crush and align it with the back crush Then I will notch the side. I will also do the same thing. This side. Then I will pull the gather. Just pull the thread from one side. Since it's a loose stitch, so I will do the same thing at this side as well. Then on the other side, I will also pull the thread to gather the other side. And I will as well pull the other side thread. So after pulling, this is what I have. So with this now, I will put this on the side. Then I will take the band. I've ironed the band. I just sew the middle. I sew the hand together. I've ironed it. That's why I'm looking for it. I couldn't really identify it again. So I sewed the hand together, and I put an interfacing, the very light one, so that it will give the cloth a little bit width. Then I fold into 2 equal parts and iron. Then the next thing, I'm going to look for where I joined it together. So that's the point where I joined it together. I'm going to hold this like this, then hold the other side to get the middle. I will notch it. Then align this side where I notch with where I join it together. I'm going to look for the middle of the side. I will notch. Then the middle of the other side as well. And I will also notch it. So the next thing now is I'm going to align my band to the palazzo. So one side, I'll open it up. Then holding it this way, I will also align this is my center notch. I will align it with the other joining of the cross, and I will join it. I will hold it down with a pin also. Then to the side now, I will look for the notch here, align it to the notch on the side of the palazzo point, hold down with a pin. Then this side, I will look for the notch also that I made on this side, align the 2 notches together, and also hold it down with a pin. So the next thing now is I'm going to adjust my gathers to fit into the band. I will make sure the gather fits into the band. This way. So I will spread it out when I get to the machine, and I will sew. That's how I'm going to. I will do the same thing to this side, and to this. After joining the band, this is what I have. So I joined this side. The way I pin it, I just sew it round, adjusting the pleat. So this is what I'm having now. Our pint is getting ready. You see that it is closed. It looks much like a skirt. So the next thing now, I'm having 14 inches elastic here. 14 inches elastic. So, and I'll be dividing this into 2. After that, I will come to my side notch. Everything is so full, so I hardly identify the notch. Yes, I did not notch the upper side, so I can still do that. I just take the notch here, align it with the joining, and I notch the side. My notch did not show you. So after that, I'll make a straight line on the notch. Hope you can see the line. Then to this side, I will measure 7 inches. And to this side, I will also measure 7 inches. Then after that, I will go down by 0.75. That's 3/4 of an inch. Oh, sorry, I will go down by half an inch. Half an inch. So also here, I will go down by half an inch. So here, I'm going to place my elastic under this line. You see that I can leave a space because I'm going to fold this half inch in, and I don't want to sew on my elastic. So I'm going to place my elastic between the remaining 1.25 inch that is here. So I will use this to hold it. I will hold it, take it to the machine and sew it down like 3 to 4 times so that it will not cut. Then the other side, I will do the same thing, going down away from the half an inch line. I'm going to place my elastic on the line. I hope you can see how I place it. So I will also hold it down with a pin. I will sew it like 3 to 4 times. Then after that, gradually I will put this on it like this, then use it to cover this line that I've made. Then turning to this side, I'll be sewing from this side. I will just open this place up and sew from this side, and that is how I'll be sewing around. I will take half an inch down, use it to cover the seam here, then sew from this place down. So that's how I'm going to sew it around. What I do here, I will do to the other side before I started sewing around. Then the next thing, I will see our palazzo how it looks. Thanks.